Here we are at Elings Park in Santa Barbara, and today we're going to be looking at a little reforestation planting that was done over the last 4 or 5 months. And you can see here we've got a tree shelter that's held up by a section of rebar with an orange plug at the top to keep from anybody hurting themselves on the rebar. And then down here we have a 2-piece cage, which half extends below ground, half extends above ground. The material is aviary netting. It is not hardware cloth, and it is not chicken wire. It's similar to chicken wire, except it's galvanized and has a smaller opening. And for 30 years, we have been successfully excluding ground squirrels from our plantings throughout coastal California. The tree in this case is Quercus tomentella, the island oak. So let's have a quick look down the tube. And sure enough, if you see it, down there is a beautiful little island oak there. Here we see another of the island oak sites. This one is being prepared to give it its spring weeding. You can see we've got some weeds coming up around it. The tree shelter has been pulled off the rebar that you can see here. And down there at the bottom is another healthy, happy young island oak seedling. See the berm, which is built to hold 5 gallons of water. And then the aviary netting cage, you can see the cage is closed around the tree shelter to exclude mammals, mostly ground squirrels. These plantings are done by the Santa Barbara Bucket Brigade, a wonderful little organization that's grown up in the last few years. You can see their trailers and their equipment down below. This, my friend with me, is Abe Powell, who's out leading the efforts, the Bucket Brigade efforts here. So Abe, what kind of tree do we have in this site?
We've got a Quercus tomentella that was planted as an acorn here. And we're going back through and just checking on our trees right now. Some of them, we put 2 acorns in when we planted, just in case one of them didn't pop, but in this case, all of them did pop. So here we have 2 trees here. Got 2 healthy little trees. And generally we take the biggest one and we pull the smallest one because they're too close together. So here's an example. And these guys are already like really hardy. Here's the acorn.
There you go.
Got the acorn here. Pretty good root. Obviously I broke it off. It was much longer than that, but it's pretty woody already.
So here we are in the giant fields of mustard at Elings Park. The reason that our young tree plantings are in the mustard is because these giant mustard plants are indicating that this is some very, very deep soil. This is exactly the kind of area where oaks and other trees will grow. So if you try planting where you don't have much grass or you don't have much mustard, you probably don't have much soil and you aren't likely to get much of a tree. So here we are with Abe again, and we're just going to cruise through and have a look at some of the other tree types. We've been looking at Quercus tomentella, the island oak, but what do we have here?
This is a Quercus engelmannii, Engelmann Oak that we got from the San Bernardino area from a nursery.
Yep, look at that. It needs a little bit of weeding, but the plant is very happy. Okay, so do we have more Engelmann Oak here?
Here I have a Torrey Pine.
Oh, look at this.
Here's the Torrey.
And Torrey Pines tend to be very fast growing. It's unusual to direct plant them in a restoration project like this, but it's extremely appropriate given our location. Looking great, Abe. So you can see we've got more. Takes quite a bit of work. These things would disappear in the mustard if the mustard wasn't controlled. So first few years, you got to knock the mustard down, and then after that, you'll see the trees grow beautifully.
lucky to have these shelters. They definitely just A, help us find the trees in the mustard, and B, help us protect the plants from this crazy weed season we're having.
Looking quite good here at Elings Park.